君と見た世界さあ始まりの鐘が鳴る We are Foxen
Oh, Wiz, that lovable poor shop owner in Axel City. She's so poor that she often survives on sugar and water alone for weeks. You first met Wiz near the end of KonoSuba Season 1 through flashback. She used to be this powerful arc wizard in the past, specializing in ice magic. But now, she lives peacefully as an undead Lich. Height-wise, no official measurements have been given out, but she looks to be an inch taller than Darkness by comparison. Physically, Wiz is 20 years old, although her actual age is unknown. Wiz will remain 20 years old forever, and this is due to her becoming a Lich when she was 20. Poor Wiz doesn't seem to have too many fans. She came in number 7 for the KonoSuba character popularity contest. She may not be too popular just due to her lack of screen time. What do you think about Wiz? Does she make it into your top 3 KonoSuba characters? For fans of this Lich, you first get to meet her in episode 8 of season 1. Unfortunately, they abridged the whole introduction for Wiz. Kazuma and his party originally met up with Wiz in the cemetery. By the way, Aqua almost immediately killed her. In case you were curious about this, the KonoSuba manga does show Wiz's intro that takes place after the Cabbage quest. What's more interesting is that the entire quest was actually released later as a CD drama for KonoSuba. The whole thing is almost 15 minutes long. Perhaps they originally intended to include this in the anime, but for whatever reason, they cut it out at the last moment. The voice actress behind Wiz is Yui Horie. Here's a couple of her roles that you may know, including one from Re:Zero, Tsubasa from the Monogatari series, Kisara from Black Bullet, Salamandina from Cross Ange, the White Pussy from Fairy Tail, Doru from Fruit Basket, Anna from K, Yu from Is This a Zombie of the Dead, Naru from Love Hina, surprise surprise, Makie from Negima, both of the series, Chie from the Persona 4 anime, Felix the Cat from Re:Zero, Minori from Toradora, Yuki from Vampire Knight, and here's one final one from a game, Hitomi from Dead or Alive. KonoSuba Season 2 unfortunately ended up cutting another scene about Wiz. Someone over there at the studio must not like her very much. This one took place after Wiz met up with Kazuma and Megumin. Megumin, as always, wanted to set off an explosion for the day, so both of them went with her outside of town. After Miss Explosion let one rip, the blast attracted a rookie killer. This thing is basically a giant black saber-toothed tiger. The giant cat quickly pounced onto Wiz, but she didn't even flinch. Its huge claws had absolutely no effect on her, since Liches are immune to physical attacks. The party saw the black cat foaming at the mouth and collapsing. Kazuma only looked at Wiz in astonishment. So about Aqua's interesting relationship with Wiz. They've always had this interesting dynamic ever since Aqua first tried to one-punch her. Despite hating the undead, Aqua likes hanging out in Wiz's shop whenever she's not vegging out at the mansion. She actually used to come daily just to purify things in her shop, which basically made everything into time bombs. Eventually Aqua settled for coming over, only demanding Wiz to make her some tea. It actually doesn't matter whether Wiz is at her shop or not. Aqua finds her way inside and makes her own tea if Wiz happens to be gone. Unfortunately, Wiz puts up with all her crap, including taking care of her dragon. Yeah, dragon. Before meeting up with Kazuma's party, Wiz actually had a connection to Megumin from long ago. She often used to take trips to the Crimson Magic clan to restock her shop. Strangely enough, she was always interested in magic items sold by Megumin's father. Of course, since it's Wiz, she made the mistake of buying defective magic items from them. Part of the reason that Megumin and her family had trouble putting food on the table was because her father only produced these flawed items that no one would buy. So thankfully, because of Wiz, in a strange way, Megumin and her family were able to get some funds for food. Let's go ahead and turn back the clock and look at Wiz back when she was still alive. Check Wiz out. Doesn't she look so lively? Back then, Wiz used to be this arc wizard class with an outgoing personality. She was known as this very powerful militant, known as the Ice Witch. She was so well known that the Demon King himself even knew her name personally, and even put out a bounty for her head. Which, by the way, Aqua wanted to know if this bounty was still valid. Together, Wiz was in a party with a swordmaster named Brad and an archpriest named Rosary. It's fair to say that Wiz was a completely different person in the past. This all changed not too long after meeting Vanier. As for how Wiz first met Vanier, it all began when her party decided to take this super difficult quest. It took them 7 days just to reach the boss room. Wiz and her party were surprised by the Troll King Vanier after he popped out of this treasure chest in his master dungeon. Vanier was too great of a troll, and he could afford to be with a world of difference between their power levels. It's funny because Vanier managed to piss off Wiz so much, her party kept coming back week after week after week. At one point, Wiz brought this powerful barrier item that she spent half her savings on. It was this ultra item from the Crimson Magic clan. The barrier worked so well that Vanier was unable to escape or attack anyone. The only problem was that the people outside couldn't attack him either. Worst of all for Wiz, the barrier was supposed to last 1 whole month. A super pissed off Wiz had no choice but to wait it out. In the meantime, her party went on to challenge a different demon general while they waited. In the background, Vanier smiled as he saw Wiz walk away. Poor Wiz. You might be wondering, how did Wiz become a Lich in the first place? You'd be right in thinking it involves Vanier. After 1 month of peace and quiet, Wiz returned. This time she was solo. Wiz immediately took out this forbidden crystal item and went on a rampage against Vanier. A huge battle took place. It was the first time that Vanier was pushed to such an extent in hundreds of years. Unfortunately, in the end, Wiz only almost killed him. She was lying there on the ground after the battle. She then pulled out this contract in front of Vanier and made a request. During that 1 month period, her party had fought against a certain headless demon general. The general was almost defeated, but in his final moments, he decided to curse everyone around him. The entire raid party would die after 1 month, including Wiz's party members. Wiz had come to fight against Vanier in hopes of demonstrating her power, and then she hoped to offer her own soul in exchange for the curse to be nullified. After all, this was something within Vanier's power to do. Unfortunately, Wiz had barely any life left. That forbidden crystal had given her a huge boost in magic, but it was in exchange for most of her remaining lifespan. Her soul was no longer enough to pay the cost of what she was asking for. However, Vanier informed her of a different option. In exchange for helping him realize his greatest dream, Vanier would teach her a forbidden technique. A lifelong promise was made on that day between Wiz and Vanier. So how powerful is Wiz really? That is, after becoming a Lich. While she was still alive and using that forbidden crystal, Wiz was almost able to destroy one of Vanier's life. Wiz's display of her full power came soon after separating from Vanier. On one cold morning, the demon castle got a rude awakening. Wiz had arrived and was forcefully cutting down the barriers around the castle. This was something that should have been impossible to do. Of course, 2 demon generals quickly responded. The undead witch immediately froze the slime general, and she also knocked out the serpent demon general. This was made more amazing by the fact that the serpent general was resistant to magic. Wiz then stormed into the castle, found the hellish demon general, and pretty much made him cry. He quickly offered to remove that previous curse if everything ended in a draw. Soon after that, Wiz became a demon general. She was put in charge of maintaining the castle barrier as requested by the demon king. So fortunately for Wiz, there was a happy ending for her party members. Her old friends ended up getting married, and they occasionally visit her shop in Axel Town. Wiz is all too happy to play with their kid. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Really hope you enjoyed Wiz's story as much as I did. Please be sure to give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you did enjoy, especially if you're a fan of Wiz. Here's a KonoSuba question of the day for you. Which KonoSuba characters would you put in your party? Let's follow Wiz and make it 3 total, so choose 2 people wisely. Make sure you also watch my videos on all of Kazuma's party, including Aqua, Darkness, and Megumin, and I'll see you guys later.